What is up, kids? I've been wanting to do this tips video for a while. I was working on it last night. I almost had it done, but then Audacity crashed on me. I lost everything that I worked for. I put in like an hour and a half into it, and just to see it all disappear, it really kind of sucks. The gameplay that I'm picking for this really doesn't matter. This is a pretty old Search and Destroy gameplay on Summit. I don't even remember what I went. This is what I used for my first commentary, but I deleted it because it wasn't really interesting. But I saved the gameplay. So yeah, I'm going to start to get into these tips. Watch the gameplay if you want. You know, some of my tips are in there. But yeah, let's get started. The first tip, you have to get used to using the AK-74, AUG, or the FAMAS. I personally use the FAMAS. I think it's the best out of the three guns. It's the most versatile. But these three are the most versatile guns in the game. If you're not using these guns, then you just pretty much hurt yourself. Tip number 2. Use the quote overpowered perks and do the pro perk challenges. Use Ghost Pro. Use Ninja Pro. Ghost Pro I think is the best first perk by far. The straight up version will give you protection from spy planes and stuff, but the pro version will keep you hidden from aircraft, infrared, sentries. There's no red crosshair, and there's no name when you're targeted by people. Use whatever second perk that you want. I recommend Sleight of Hand Pro, Steady Aim Pro, and Warlord Pro are also good. Just use whatever you feel like. For a defensive playstyle or any tactical game mode like Search and Destroy, Ninja is the best third perk by far. Straight up Ninja will keep you from being sound hoard, and Ninja Pro will make you hear your enemies louder. And when you like reload and stuff, he'll say like cover me, I'm reloading, or when you throw down a claymore, he'll say planting claymore. Doesn't do that with Ninja Pro, so it'll completely keep you from being sound hoard. Tip number 3. Watch the radar and where your teammates have died. The radar and the death X's will tell you where everything you need to know is. The radar will tell you where your teammates are, where your enemies are, if they're shooting. If there's a spy plane up, it'll show you the whole defensive scheme of the other team, what they're doing. And the death X's, you don't want to go right up to them because chances are the enemies are going to be looking in those directions, and you don't want to just die. Dying is not good. You just don't want to go out and die. That doesn't get anything solved, and it's just generally bad for your team. Tip number 4. Buy a gaming headset. It's a huge advantage, especially if you have Ninja Pro. Whether it be Turtle Beaches, Tritons, Astros, Steel Series, whatever. If you're playing a tactical game mode like Search and Destroy, it is totally worth it. Especially since Turtle Beach X11s are only like 50 bucks, I think. That's what I have. They're pretty good. I think the PX21s from Turtle Beach are also very good. And they also work with PS3, PC, and Xbox 360. Steel Series has their low-end model is also very good. It's not as durable as their higher-end model, which is around 100 bucks, I think. Just get a gaming headset. Buy one. Get in the market for one. It'll take your game to a whole nother level. Tip number 5. Remember to pre-aim when you know an enemy is nearby. Any advantage is good, especially ones that get you into the fight before the other person. If you have steady aim instead of sleight of hand, at least get your crosshairs on the enemy. You might want to even pre-fire just to make sure that there's no gap in time that the enemy can capitalize on if he knows that you're coming. Tip number 6. Learn the technical skills of Call of Duty Black Ops. Watch S&D for Dummies tech skill video. It's going to be in the description, or I'm going to put it as a link in the video. In that video, you'll learn how to drop shot, dolphin dive, double back, all the good technical skills that are going to help you get much better at the game. The video is for Modern Warfare 2, so not all of it applies, like the melee cancels and stuff. However, there's still a huge amount of info in the video. It's going to help your 1v1 skill a whole lot. That's going to lead to better games through the ability to handle yourself without the need of your teammates. Tip number 7. Learn to communicate and play with a party. Playing with friends will get you to communicate more, be able to perform setups easier, and make up short names for places. Saying that someone in the building is not good information. Coordinate callouts or specific names for places with your team so that they know exactly what area they should take note of. Tip number 8. Watch a lot of gameplay. Watch your own and or someone that you know is good. Pay attention to what you're doing and your habits. Take note of how well your enemies react to your style and come up with an answer for it if you aren't handling that well. If you don't know anyone that is good, Watch some of my better recent games or some games that are on my file share. When I play, generally I keep these 10 tips in mind all the time, so you'll be sure that it's some good gameplay and something that you can practice. Tip number 9. Chill out. Playing aggressively is overrated. You should never be in a rush to do anything in Black Ops. Refrain from running through the middle of any map. These are generally the most watched areas and the most death-heavy areas. Remember, letting a teammate die is better than running out and trying to be a hero. And don't even think about reviving a second chance kid out in the open. And last, but not least, tip number 10. Learn the maps. If you don't know the map, you're bound to crumble under a team that does. If the other team knows how to spawn trap, and you didn't even know that there was a door there, you're gonna get wrecked. Bottom line, you have to know the ins and outs of every map. And if you don't, you're gonna be average. Now, I told you guys I was gonna give you 10 tips to get better, but I couldn't fit everything that I wanted into just 10. So I'm gonna give you guys a couple more bonus tips just to make sure that I get everything. Bonus tip number 1. Use kill streaks that you can actually get. If you're rolling with Chopper Gunner, Blackbird, and Dogs, and you can't get them, don't even bother. Start down lower, always have Spy Plane on, I always do. Have Spy Plane, Counter Spy, and Napalm. If you still can't get them, try out the Hardline perk. You have to give up Ghost for it though, so I don't really recommend it. Bonus tip number 2. Remember to burst fire at long ranges. You're not going to be as effective as you can be if you spray with your SMG at 50 meters. You can kind of get away with it with your assault rifle, if it's a FAMAS or an AUG or something. But if you're going to use like a Spectre, you're not going to be able to hit people at longer ranges if you just spray. Just remember to burst fire and know your weapon. Now if you watch this whole video in full and you take everything that I said into practice, you're probably going to become one of the better Black Ops players that you know. Just remember these 10 or 12 tips and just put them into practice. You know, remember them when you're playing. Let me know how it works out for you. Comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Preaim.